Catch progress at any speed with this time-lapse camera. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the Technax time-lapse camera model TX164, and it's really cool. It's basically like kind of sort of the camera on your smartphone, but it's designed to sit out in the middle of nowhere, tied to a building, strapped to a tree, whatever, and to catch time-lapse photos or video over the course of days, weeks, months, even years. Now, it's powered by a ton of AA batteries. In fact, let's just open it up and you can see what's inside. So there's a little screen. I'll turn it on, and you can see it's a little tiny color screen. There are 6 buttons below it. I will give you a close-up in a minute and show you how it works, because it's pretty confusing how to get this thing to work. But you can see the basic idea. You have all this, there are batteries on this side, and then if I open this up, there's a lot of batteries on that side. And like I said, it's a dozen AA's. It will power it for 6 months. So if you are trying to capture the construction of a house, for example, 6 months is probably plenty. But if it's not, you can certainly, after 5 months and 4 weeks or something like that, pop out all the batteries, put in new batteries, put the camera back, and you're continuing to capture. Now, it has full 1080 HD, and I'll show you an example in just a minute. I got a great demo, but it's a 110 degree field of view. It has an auto infrared filter, so it can work at night too. It has 4 modes. It has photo and video capture for time lapse, and photo and stop motion. It, like I said, battery powered, 6 months on the battery, built-in microphone and speaker, though I haven't utilized that, and it all works with a BYOC, bring your own card, micro SD card. That's not included. You'll need one up to 512 gigabytes. I have, I think, 128, and I did a lot of video. I have about, I don't know, 20 gig of video, and it didn't tap the camera at all. The battery's still really high, so it's really quite powerful. It is IP66 waterproof once you actually get this all sealed up and clipped correctly. And it has a ton of mounting options. But before we get to that and I show you what's in the box, let's just switch to this footage. Let me explain what's going on. I had to hire a company to cut down some of my old Aspens because they were dying or dead. And it's just a sad day. But I started out with a photo every 3 seconds. And as you can see in this portion, it's kind of slow. So I'm going to just speed things up, because one of the challenges with a time-lapse camera is figuring out your optimal settings, because you have to run it for a while to see if you're capturing too much or too little. So sped up, this is actually a pretty interesting process. Well, I'm kind of sad that my Aspens are gone, but that's the nature of trees. Sometimes they die, so that's how it goes. But the footage, spectacular, really cool. Now, I have to say, I did have some anxiety because I wasn't sure I had it all set up correctly. But once I had it going, I had this on a little tripod stand, as you can see in this photo, and I just sort of kept my fingers crossed that over the next 3 or 4 hours that it would actually capture the right things at the right time, and it did. But let me show you a close-up, just a tiny bit of how to use this based on its little tiny screen and its very confusing multi-function button interface. You can see all of the buttons here, and we can go to Menu, and then this gives you the ability to change your settings. And you can see here, I can change photo resolution, video resolution, the frequency so we don't have interference with light cycles. Video length, you can change that. You can set your date and time. All sorts of different options. We'll say okay. We'll go, let's see, we'll go back. And I think we turn off menu. And now if I want to start it, I just push the start button and then push OK. And now we have a countdown timer. And once that timer hits 0, then it will actually start creating some time-lapse footage. Like many devices, I feel like the software is the biggest challenge, and that's hard to get right. The hardware here is really cool. This is a really slick device, and there's lots of fun applications. Honestly, anytime I'm going to have any large-scale work done, if I was having a shed built or something, this would be so fun to capture that process, right? Easy, put it on a tripod. In fact, while we're talking, let me show you all the other mounting stuff it comes with. If you can't figure out how to mount your device, then you are lacking imagination. So they have this pole mount, and then there is a strap mount, so you can actually literally strap it to a tree. There is this extension mount, so you can actually have this extended out from, say, the side of your house or something, and that's the base for it. And let's see, there's even this sort of strap, which I guess you could use, it's like a bungee cord sort of thing, and you could use this to tie it onto something. And on the device itself, you can see here there's holes for that strap. And if you want to use the strap, there are actually little slots for that too. There is a tripod mount on the back. There is a tripod mount on the bottom. Like I said, if you can't figure out how to position this so that you can actually capture the footage you want, then you're just not being creative. This has a ton of options. Now, I should also mention that when I actually grab the footage, I just popped the card off and put it into a card reader, because when I'm working with like 5 or 10 gigabytes, that's a little slow to transfer by cable, but it does have a cable. You can transfer it by cable if you want, and it does have the option of DC power if you have a local plug, but it doesn't come with a powered adapter, so you'd need to acquire one of those separately. But between all of that, you definitely have a very flexible, very fun, and very interesting device. Now, it is a little spendy for a sort of one-trick pony, because it really only does that one thing. But if you're having something done like a house built, then imagine strapping this to a tree facing the house and just leaving it for a couple of months. And then when you're done, you have this great footage that is really just completely irreplaceable of the house being built, from foundation to framing to, you know, all the other steps that are involved in creating a structure. Very, very interesting. I can see a lot of commercial uses for this too, because a restaurant that's doing a remodel, this could be a fun thing to put some of that footage on their website to get customers excited. So many options. Now, only other thing to talk about are the dimensions and the price. But before we get there, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate that. Just a click or a tap on that red subscribe button. And give me some feedback here too. Thumbs up if you think this was good and informative. Leave a comment if there's something else you wish I would have covered. Just give me some feedback. Much appreciated. Now, this is 4.7 by 3.2 by 5.5 inches. It is 2 pounds with all the batteries in. It's a lot of batteries. And I think the first set of batteries is included, as I recall. Yeah, I think so. And then you're on your own for batteries, and you're also on your own for that micro SD card. So make sure you have your supplies so you're ready to time lapse away. And this is the Technax time-lapse camera TX164, and it's $146.03 at Amazon.com. I think it's really, really fun. It's a very specialized device, but between my friends and family and I, we're gonna find uses for this every couple of weeks, and we're just gonna start time-lapsing like lunatics. Totally weatherproof, having it run through the winter or something. Super fun. You could catch the change of seasons in your garden, for example. Wouldn't that be interesting, right? Start like in the beginning of the spring and just run this, maybe just a photograph every 6 hours or something, all the way through till first snowfall. That would be fantastic footage. It's exactly the kind of thing you can do with this. Definitely one worth checking out. And with that, I hope to catch you in my next video.